Estelle y... ¿quién sería? Y vamos a seguir explorando Skyhold. Antes de explorar vamos a hablar con Dory.
Brilliant, isn't it? One moment you're trying to restore order in a world gone mad. That should be enough for anyone to handle, yes? Then, out of nowhere, an archdemon appears and kicks you in the head. What? You thought this would be easy? No, I was just hoping you wouldn't crush our village like an anthill. Sorry about that. Archdemons like to crush, you know. Can't be helped. Am I speaking too quickly for you?
The attack was unexpected. We're all rattled.
I'm not rattled. I'm the hero of this tale.
Then why isn't Corypheus after you?
Good point. Does that make me a lackey? That's dangerous work. I always assumed the elder one behind the Venatori was a magister. But this is something else completely. In Tevinter, they say the Chantry's tales of magisters starting the Blight are just that. Tales. But here we are. One of those very magisters. A dark spawn.
Who does the Imperium say started the Blight?
You know how it is. Not us. They say Darkspawn were always there. Magisters and the Blight aren't even related. Is that a surprise? No one wants to admit they shit the bed. But if Corypheus is one of the Magisters who entered the Black City and he's Darkspawn, what other explanation is there?
We only know what Corypheus claims to be.
True. He might be a convincing liar, or delusional, or insane. But how many delusional maniacs are going to have that knowledge? He broke open the Fade. I knew what I was taught couldn't be the whole truth, but I assumed there had to be a kernel of it, somewhere. But no. It was us all along. We destroyed the world.
Last I checked, the Blights hadn't actually destroyed the world.
Not for lack of trying. If they were more clever, they'd have unleashed something that would really do the job. No one will thank me, whatever happens. No one will thank you either. You know that, yes?
That's not why I'm doing this.
I knew there was something clever about you. All I know is this. Corypheus needs to be stopped. Men like him ruined my homeland. I won't stand by and let him ruin the world. Oh, and congratulations on that whole leading the Inquisition thing, by the way.
Ok, este también es un poco complicado, pero con él no sé por qué se me hace fácil relacionarme, entonces voy a intentar hablar de nuevo con él.
Anything interesting?
A letter regarding Felix, Alexius' son. He went to the Magisterium, stood on the Senate floor and told them of you. A glowing testimonial, I'm informed. No news on the reaction, but everyone back home is talking. Felix always was as good as his word.
Was?
He's dead. The Blight caught up with him.
Oh my.
It's barely been any time at all. Was he so ill?
Honestly, he should have died a long time ago. Alexius was using magic to keep him alive. Felix used to sneak me treats from the kitchens when I was working late in his father's study. Don't get into trouble on my behalf, I tell him. I like trouble, he'd say. Tevinter could use more mages like him. Those who put the good of others above themselves.
Were the two of you...
Felix and I? What an odd question. No. I had no intention of abusing Alexius's hospitality by seducing his son. Not that I've been proper my whole life by any means. It wasn't like that. Even in illness, Felix was the best of us. With him around, you knew things could be better.
He should be an example for others to follow, or his death is wasted.
Should I spread the word? We could spawn the cult of Felix within a matter of days.
There are worse things.
Probably true. And you're right. His actions should not be forgotten. Thankfully, Felix wasn't the only decent sort kicking around Thedas.
En realidad sí, de las personas buenas nadie habla. Su obra es invisible.
What's on your mind?
You said Alexius was a mentor of yours.
He was my patron, sponsoring me to the higher levels of the Circle of Magi. In return, my successes were his. I had a lot of successes, naturally. Alexius was most pleased. He and I used to talk over brandy about the corruption, how we could one day make real change in the Imperium. And then he gave up. He stopped trying.
Why did he give up?
On a journey to Hosburg, a Darkspawn raid killed his wife and sickened his son. I remember hearing the news. He hadn't been there, you see. Alexius was convinced he could have protected them. The guilt tore him up. I helped him with his research for a while, and then we drifted apart.
Sounds like he wasn't the only one who gave up.
I told him to snap out of it, move on. I thought I had all the answers. Later, I regretted my hasty words. But we didn't speak again until he approached me for the Venatori. Too much pride, I suppose. Plus, I was busy drinking. One must have priorities.
I don't think that's it. You felt guilty because you couldn't help him.
Clever you. I had a choice, you see. Wallow in self-pity or get away while I could. At any rate, he's fallen so low, I doubt he'll ever get up. Sad, really.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Popular topic. Anything specific?
Corypheus is a figure out of Tevinter history. He was a magister.
Yes, but that was a different time. The Imperium's power was at its peak then. The Civil War had ended. The Magisterium was united, its armies scooping up bits of Thedas like candy. The Magisters who entered the Black City. It was a demonstration of how exceptional Tevinter had become.
But who were they?
No one knows. There's no record of a Magister named Corypheus. All this happened 1400 years ago, before the Blight nearly wiped us out. There are no records. Today, people half believe it's all just a story. That's what I believed.
We have evidence the story is very much real.
But not who Corypheus is. If he remembers. There used to be families who claimed some of those Magisters as their own. That stopped when the Chantry appeared. Then it was shameful, and the families distanced themselves from the tale. All we know is that some men and women entered the Black City looking for the old gods. What did they find? According to Corypheus, nothing. And only he could tell us more.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
I should go.
You know where I'll be.
Qué interesante. Aquí está la Fiona,
Greetings, Inquisitor.
la primera
That
encantadora.
is your
¿cómo se
title
llama?
now, yes? I should thank you. The way things ended in Redcliffe, you could have demanded anything you wished. Yet you chose to make us equal partners. I was not expecting that.
You rebelled for good reason.
I'm pleased to hear you say that, Inquisitor. I've been a Grey Warden, Grand Enchanter, leader of a rebellion, and now I am none of those things. Odd where fate takes you, as you're no doubt well aware.
You were once a Grey Warden.
Mine is an unusual circumstance, Inquisitor. Normally one is part of the Order until death, but long ago I found myself stripped of what made me a Warden. They tried to reinitiate me, but nothing worked. Nor could they figure out how it happened. So I was sent to the Circle of Magi, the first Warden ever to be kicked out. Quite the achievement.
You sound happy about it.
Becoming a Warden seemed like a dream when I was first conscripted. Towards the end, however, my brothers and sisters, they felt I had somehow cheated death. I was glad to leave. It also made me unique in the Circle. I had an opportunity to do more than I ever could as a Warden.
You mean you began the Mage Rebellion?
I pushed for our vote to free the Circles of Magi. But I cannot claim sole responsibility for what followed. Still, despite all the chaos, I would do it again. What happened had to happen.
You're not still the Grand Enchanter then?
Any claim I had to the title ended along with the Circles of Magi, although some still call me by it. Perhaps the Circles will one day be resurrected. If so, another will take the position. Until that time, I lead my fellow mages by default. I will do what I can for them.
You believe they'll recreate the Circle of Magi after all this?
It depends on who the next divine is, and what she offers. We can't go back to the way things were. But endless warfare benefits no one. That is why I agreed to Justinia's conclave. There must be another solution.
I've been meaning to ask, how exactly did the Venatori take control in Redcliffe?
Mages constantly found their way to us while we were there. Stragglers, most of them strangers. I had no way of knowing some were actually Tevinter. They spread whispers, encouraged talk of an alliance, and we were desperate. I'm not proud of our choice, but we were certain Templars were coming. It could have ended far worse.
I trust everything is well with the mages.
Most are pleased with the alliance, even if we wonder what will happen next.
I'll leave you to it.
Before you go, Inquisitor, a question. In Redcliffe, after we left, did you perhaps speak with King Alistair? Considering who you are?
He wasn't in the mood to talk.
It's just that I knew his father, Marek, back when I was a warden.
Oh, that's rather interesting. Does he know that?
No, he doesn't. And he shouldn't. I only wanted to know if he was happy. His father had such hopes for him. Don't mind me, Inquisitor. The concerns of an old woman. Nothing more. Greetings again, Inquisitor.
I'll leave you to it.
Ok, se repite la conversación. Voy a leer este libro, La locura del general No Sheridan. Ahora, 4. Y así la victoria fue absoluta, y se aclamó al general No Sheridan, y alentada por el respeto y la admiración, la mujer sirvió con orgullo y se quitó la máscara para mostrar su verdadera identidad. ¿Acaso no lo había aceptado? ¿No había prosperado a sus órdenes? ¿No se había convertido en camaradas pese a la oposición y las máscaras y lo absurdo del protocolo? La respuesta fue contundente y turbadora. ¿Por qué no era así? Y le echaron con las cajas destempladas, entre gritos de impostora y espía, y otros apelativos que desconocía, porque ella aún no sabía lo que era Orley.
Greetings to you, Inquisitor. I am to serve as assistant to any research concerns. You'll find my skills are exceptional. I hope they prove useful.
You're taking over the duties of Maeve?
Yes. She said she was needed elsewhere and that I should serve the Inquisition to the best of my ability.
What is she doing?
I wasn't told.
How can you serve the Inquisition?
I am to aid in the research of all creatures encountered in your efforts as leader of the Inquisition.
Okay.
What makes you particularly qualified?
I remember being fond of animals. I don't remember why.
Okay. ¿Cómo que no
What
te
is your
acuerdas?
evaluation of how we're doing?
Adequate. Based on the partial improvements to Skyhold.
You were made tranquil.
Yes, I am tranquil. It was necessary due to a willful nature that made wielding magic a dangerous endeavor. I remember that being a difficult time, but I cannot remember why. My skills are well used in my current position.
Okay.
As you were?
Yes, Inquisitor.
Aquí hay algo sobre nuestros tutelados favoritos. Querida Leilana, estaréis encantada de saber que vuestros amigos se van bien, les va bien. Amorcito 2 sigue sin estar contento con su dieta e intenta colarse en la despensa. He tenido que poner un pestillo y ahora no para de gimotear. Los dos pequeñines aún dan guerra, pero tengo buenas noticias. He conseguido disuadir a Boulet de que se lo haga en la alfombra de seda que Justinio os dio. Felicín, la vecina de 2 puertas más allá, nos visita casi cada día para jugar con los Nox. Es encantadora y a Amorcito 2 le gusta mucho. Sospecho que esto se debe a que le trae dulces de la tienda de su padre. No obstante, he tenido que pedirle a su institutriz que le prohíba venir a casa, ya que alguien intentó infiltrarse aquí hace 2 noches. Era un agente de uno de los Blanchard, con la esperanza de descubrir algún secreto del ruiseñor. Lo neutralicé e interrogué. Su capacidad para aguantar un interrogatorio era deplorable. Alguien tiene que hablar con los Blanchard en relación a sus espías. Me bastó con ponerle a Amorcito 2 en la cara y decirle que la criatura lleva todo el día sin comer. Nuestra mascota interpretó su papel admirablemente. He recibido vuestras órdenes y partiré hacia Ferelden en cuanto me sea posible. He dispuesto que Gardner se encargue de cuidar de los Nooks. Gorrión. Ok. El ruiseñor tiene un gorrión de su lado. No tallada en la pajarera. Tablero. Talabartero. El varón Coraje. No me importa en cuántas misiones haya volado ni cuántas vidas haya salvado con sus acciones. Es un bicho terrorífico. Casi me arranca el ojo de un picotazo la última vez que intenté atarle un mensaje. Todos los aletos y graznidos exagerados hicieron que apareciera la hermana. Deberías haberla visto cuando me arrancó la carta. Si hubiera sido de constitución más débil, creo que me habría matado allí mismo. Supongo que si se creía que intentaba asesinar a su querido cuervo, y ella lo único que tuvo que hacer fue arrullarlo y el varón le saltó al hombro. Todo dulce, y se acomodó en su cuello. ¿Cómo lo hace? Todos los pájaros la quieren. Es magia de sangre. Es magia de sangre, ¿verdad? Tejedor. Okay. Leilana, los pájaros la quieren. Un buen momento para cerrar una frontera. Las noticias son terribles. Corren rumores de que todos nuestros hermanos y hermanas guardias de Ferelden han perecido. Sin los guardas grises, la ruina tomará Ferelden, luego se extenderá sin duda. Irá al norte, hacia Nevarra, y las marcas llegarán, llegará por el oeste hacia Orley, y la cabeza irá a Nochidemon. Tras él, miles y miles de engendros tenebrosos. Debemos prepararnos para mirar directamente a los ojos del olvido. Muchos de vosotros habéis preguntado que por qué nos quedamos aquí cuando tales amenazas surgen por el este. El problema, entenderéis, no es nuevo para nosotros. Decir que Ferelden y Orley han estado en discordia es quedarse cortos. Son como el perro y el gato. Los guardias somos orlesianos, solo por la dirección, pero eso no parece importarles a los líderes de Ferelden. Se dice que el rey de Ferelden ha muerto, y su sucesor, Logain Mactyr, decreta que ningún guarda ponga el pie en el país. Mactyr, un héroe nacional que ayudó a expulsar a las fuerzas invasoras orlesianas de Ferelden, parece que también la tiene tomada con nuestra orden. Quizá dude de nuestra capacidad, quizá sea más necio de lo que los libros de historia afirman. Por eso debemos esperar, aun cuando Ferelden acoge a buena gana su destino. Discurso de guardalguacil Blackwall de Valchefin a sus reclutas 930 del dragón. Ok. Esto es Blackwall. Y aquí está la Nightingale.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
The names of those we lost. You must blame me for this. We all saw who attacked us. We know exactly who to blame. I keep wondering if I could have done something different. When the first of my lookouts went missing, I pulled the rest back, awaiting more information. If they'd stayed in the field, they could have bought us more time. I was afraid to lose my agents. And instead, we lost Haven.
Se podrá ver por YouTube.
You will be prepared next time. I won't let this happen again. My people know their duty. They know the risks. They understand that the Inquisition may call upon them to give their lives. Our people aren't tools to be used and discarded. Your instincts were right. Their lives matter. Can we afford such sentimentality? What if Corypheus? We're better than Corypheus.
Ok, ¿qué es esto? Sobre vuestros tutelados favoritos. Querida Elena, estaréis encantada de saber que vuestros amigos, los Fabián, amorcito, ok. Por aquí podemos salir e ir. ¿Qué es esto? Vean, está enorme este lugar. Aunque está grande, de todas formas, albergar aquí un ejército sería complicado. Necesitaríamos más espacio. O sea, para mí y para cualquier persona, si esto fuera de una persona, sí, está enorme. Pero para el número de personas que viven aquí, apenas es suficiente. Ok. Todo ya está listo. Me gusta mucho cómo suena esa flama azul como... Oh, la madre Giselle. La madre Giselle.
There's something... My Lady Inquisitor, it's good of you to speak with me. I have news regarding one of your companions, the Tevinter.
Has Dorian done something wrong?
No, thankfully. It's nothing like that. I have been in contact with his family. House Pravas, out of Carenas. Are you familiar with them?
Why exactly would you be contacting Dorian's family?
I didn't contact them, Inquisitor. They contacted me. The family sent a letter describing the estrangement from their son and pleading for my aid. They've asked to arrange a meeting quietly without telling him. They fear it's the only way he'll come. Since you seem to be on good terms with the young man, I'd hoped...
Just what kind of meeting do they have in mind?
I believe they just want to talk, to understand why Dorian felt he had to come here. Somewhere private, away from Skyhold, but not in Tevinter. You make them nervous, I think. They don't understand why he's here with the Inquisition. They want him to come home.
I'd be worried too if my son ran off to join some gauche foreigners on a crusade.
So would I. Although I suspect there's more to it than either of us understands.
Why would his family contact you?
Because they don't know you, Inquisitor. I am not of the Imperial Chantry, but they know what I represent. These are parents concerned about the welfare of their son. How could I not do whatever possible? I would speak to the young man myself, but he does not care for me. Thus I come to you. If any good can come of this, we must try.
They don't want Dorian to know. That seems odd.
They believe the young man would refuse, and the letter implies he'd have cause. Yet, they are remorseful for whatever came before. This is a chance for dialogue. There is deceit in bringing the young man to this meeting without his foreknowledge, I know. But does it not lead to a greater kindness if there is potential for reconciliation?
Are you sure this isn't some kind of trap? I mean, the secrecy...
That did occur to me. What if it is a plot of those mages, the Venatori? Another reason to put this in your hands, Inquisitor. I pray that isn't the case. But if it is, you are far better equipped than I to respond to such treachery.
If you think I'm going to trick Dorian into meeting his family...
I feared you might say that. The family will send a retainer to meet the young man at the Red Cliff Tavern, to take him onward. If he truly does not wish this reunion, he can always end the matter there. I pray you change your mind, Inquisitor. Perhaps their letter will persuade you. If there is any chance of success in this, it behooves us to act.
Ok. Carta con aspecto oficial, reverencia. Entiendo que os parezca inapropiado asumir la tarea de llevar a Dorian a una reunión secreta. Hasta a mí que lo pido, me resulta difícil creerlo. Teniendo en cuenta que mi hijo ha rechazado todo contacto, esta es la única manera. Lo conozco, sé que sería demasiado orgulloso para venir si lo pudiera, aunque fuera solo para hablar. Es lo único que debemos hacer. La idea de ver a Dorian en el sur poniéndose en un peligro semejante nos inquieta más de lo que soy capaz de expresar. Si esto tiene éxito de alguna manera, tenemos un sirviente en las colinas de Vandral que vigilará la llegada de Dorian. Nos traerá al chico a algún lugar privado. Si Dorian se niega rotundamente a ir con él, ahí acabará la cosa. Y no habrá nada que hacer. No nos quedan más opciones. Saludos cordiales, Maese Hallward de la Casa Pau. Okay.
Complete.
No.
Well, how about that?
No voy a engañar a Dorian. Ok, ya está abierto aquí. Aquí llega uno al jardín.
Fertile ground even here. This hold has everything.
Vale. Dice, informe sobre andamios. La tercera caída en muchos días. Necesitamos más sacos de arena. Es casi imposible meter el un anclaje entre estos bloques. El sitio se hizo para durar, pero eso dificulta mucho la construcción de ampliaciones. Berinole, techadora, aprobado. La Inquisición necesita a su gente en una pieza. Es Morris, intendente. ¡Qué ole! Aquí no tengo ninguna... no tengo ninguna semilla. ¿Qué onda?
Inquisitor, Elan Vemar. Honored to represent the College of Herbalists and offer my services as apothecary. My colleague Adan was clear about the worth of your cause. I look forward to assisting him.
I look forward to working with you.
And are you? I wasn't sure what to think of you people, but recent events have put those doubts to bed. All the mundane needs of Skyhold will be well tended. If you note anything special, let me know. I'm here to serve the cause we must.
Ok. ¿Qué onda con ella?
Elan's good. My best.
Ok. Ah. ¿Qué haces aquí?
Ah, Inquisitor, you have finally come into your own. The Maker has put you on a difficult path. I pray you walk it safely.
I remember our
Llegaste aquí
talk
tan
out there
rápido.
before we found Skyhold. It wasn't just the Maker who put me on this path, was it?
The Inquisitor could never have been Cassandra, or Leliana, or me for that matter. We are too political, too tied to the Chantry and all its failings. But I did not make you stand against Corypheus. I did not make you risk death to save the people of Haven. Only you could be the Inquisitor. I only pray the power of the Inquisition is enough.
I'll do my best
Se
to earn
acabaron
this.
los rezos.
You earned this in Haven. The Maker has chosen you to deliver us from Corypheus. You have the faith and support of everyone here. Never forget that. Now, was there anything else?
Can you tell me anything about Corypheus?
I know nothing of the man personally, but the Chant of Light speaks of what he claims to be. No matter their power, their triumphs, the mage lords of Tevinter were men and doomed to die. Then a voice whispered within their hearts, "Shall you surrender your power to time like the beasts of the fields? You are the lords of the earth. Go forth to claim the empty throne of heaven and be gods."
That was one of the old gods speaking in their dreams?
Yes, Dumat as I understand it. In secret, they worked magic upon magic. All their power and all their vanity they turned against the veil, until at last it gave way.
Okay.
That sounds like what happened with the breach.
Very similar, Inquisitor. Above them, a river of light. Before them, the throne of heaven waiting. Beneath their feet, the footprints of the Maker, and all around them echoed a vast silence. But when they took a single step toward the empty throne, a great voice cried out, shaking the very foundations of heaven and earth.
Corypheus said he found only chaos and corruption.
The Chant of Light says that it was beautiful until the Maker himself spoke. And so is the Golden City blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world.
Corypheus seemed so certain that he heard nothing. He described it as dead whispers.
Bitterness, perhaps? He paid a high price for his crime. Violently were they cast down, for no mortal may walk bodily in the realm of dreams, bearing the mark of their crime.
Walking bodily in the realm of dreams is exactly what Corypheus said he did. But the mark, could it be related to the mark I bear?
I cannot say. Perhaps Andraste saw clearly and we misinterpreted her words. It was always taught that the mark they bore was the shape of Darkspawn. Bodies so maimed and distorted that none should see them and know them for men. That is all I know of your adversary, Inquisitor.
Some of the Chant of Light describes what we've seen and what Corypheus said, but not all of it.
The Chant of Light is the work of mankind. We of all people must accept that mankind is fallible. Listeners may have misheard one of Andraste's songs.
Just one word sung incorrectly could change everything. And how many verses were stricken or changed for foolish political reasons, like the Canticle of Chartan. Still, I would trust these words over any spoken by Corythius. I hope they help you.
Ok. Antes de continuar la plática con la madre Giselle, pararé un poco aquí, tengo que hacer unas cosas y continuaré. Esto es Playing for Change, Dragon Age Inquisition. Soy este y me despido por el momento.